Yeah, I'm ready. I got one thing I want to throw out there when it come out.
Okay.
Jay, you want to hear this? All right,
I make a motion to come out of executive session.
all right. Motion to come out of executive session by Jay, second by Brad. Let the record show no action was taken. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Okay. Hey, Jay,
Yeah.
Paul Smith came to see me yesterday. Well,
Yeah.
Craig needs to hear this. Paul, well, I just want to, Jay knows Paul. Anyway, Paul Smith came to see me yesterday.
Tim and
And,
Mike come in.
He got the cotton market. We kind of bent over backwards, and he did too, to let this guy move, buy some land that backs up to the cotton market and put a
That
trailer in.
Yeah.
But now he's put a hog pen. And so when they have weddings out by the barn, they get that aroma.
Oh my gosh, man.
That was just an accident, wasn't it?
Well, you know, we had a chance to
Oh.
shut him down, you know. You didn't want to take it.
It's gotta be
No,
the
Paul,
three.
no, who?
It's gotta be
With
three.
the trailer.
Paul was
Three.
okay with it.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
Okay, then
I'm
two.
just telling you what he
Yeah,
said.
all right, so they got a
Yeah,
hog
whatever.
down.
You can argue about that all day. He came and told me yesterday, I'm okay with it. I was okay with it. I gave the man $400 to let him know that I was comfortable with the fact that he cut a couple of my trees. And I gave him some money. Anyway, he's put a hog pen now that, so when they have the weddings in that venue, he's got that.
So what do you do about it?
Well, that's what I'm asking. Is there anything we can do about it?
If it's A2, no, sir. I don't know the answer.
It may, I bet it's
I don't
not
think- It's
A2.
not A2.
I bet it's
Can't be.
not.
It gotta be mixed.
A1.
RE1A.
I bet it's A1.
No, I bet it's not A at all.
If it's anything more
Because-
restrictive than A2.
It's gotta be A2 for pigs.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm saying, I don't think he's got that. I don't think it is.
Then that's what Renee and them can run.
I'm gonna ask her.
It's not, that can't be A2.
No.
No, it's gotta be.
Mike,
Or
I
one.
spent an hour of my time today talking about pigs and
Okay.
beavers.
All right, that's all. All right. What do you want us to do, Craig? Anything?
Are we ready? Are we through with
Right.
the pigs for a
Call
minute?
Cooper,
All
will
Yeah, I'm through with that.
Call
Yeah.
Cooper.
I'll call Renee.
First thing is, we discussed a matter of potential litigation in executive that involves the repayment of personal property tax obligation on the part of Precision Spine, which is a business located inside the city of Pearl, but in Rankin County. We have an arrangement established for them, and I'm asking for authority for Jared to execute the settlement agreement that allows for repayment of their personal property tax obligations.
Motion to add
Take a
this
motion.
item.
Motion to add the item to the agenda by Jay, second by Brad. All in favor say aye. All opposed, motion to approve.
Motion approved.
By Brad, second by Jay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Good job, Craig, as always.
Glad to do it, and that's $1 million to the bottom line for county taxpayers, and
$1 million we were shorted.
that's correct, and a preservation of a good relationship with a business entity that we want to be here.
Yeah.
And so I'm really happy that that outcome was achieved, and it was a team effort.
Yep.
All right. The next thing is, Jared, to add to the agenda is acknowledgement of receipt of the formal resignation, tender of resignation by our District 2 Constable, Brad Patridge. And I just need the board to acknowledge that, so it'd be a motion to acknowledge the receipt of
I'll
the
make that
A
resignation
motion
letter.
to add this to the agenda
Yep.
by Daniel, second by Steve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion
Motion
to
to
accept this resignation by Daniel, second by Steve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Third item, gentlemen, to add to the agenda is formal authority to continue the county's process of implementing our initiatives with our current team, legislative team, which includes Bernini Law Firm and Wagner Engineering. These initiatives include and are limited to our 7001 application that addresses the issues in our Mill Creek drainage basin. This is part of our stormwater management plan. That's a $10 million initiative. And the second initiative relates to transportation, separate and apart from anything other than the current federal programming that is being lined up for infrastructure improvements across the country. This is a part of the $1.8 trillion initiative that you heard the president speak about. It does not include ancillary types of funding mechanisms, such as the Build Grant Program. And this is not lobbying. I want to be clear, this is not a lobbying initiative. These are initiatives that we have had in place for years. They are already qualified federal programs that are recognized by the Federal Highway Transportation Administration. These are not new funding requests. These are existing federal programs, and we are pushing those initiatives forward. We are not addressing new requests. I want to make that clear. And therefore, there's no need for us to ask for or to receive assistance from anyone outside of our current team of Wagner and Brunini for any help on those initiatives. We have all of that under control,
Do
okay?
you need
So
an emotion?
I just need a motion to authorize the continuation. And here's the arrangement. When work is performed, it will be billed for and submitted for payment. When work is not performed, you will not get a bill. Any point in time that this board wants to stop it, all it has to do is say we are stopping it. So there's not a commitment, there's not a time frame, there's not a budget per se. It's going to be a continuing process until we see those initiatives either stopped by this board or funded.
Yeah, that'll be my motion.
Second.
All right, motion by
I
Daniel.
need to
second-
add it. I guess what I'm doing,
Yes.
I'm adding that
Adding it to-
first.
Motion by Daniel, second by Steve, to add this to the agenda, motion approved. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion approved by Daniel, second by Steve. All in favor say aye. All opposed.
The city of Florence alerted us that they have a building official who is very sick and is going to have to take a leave of absence. They have asked us to provide some assistance through our building department to address their limited building inspection requirements. Dwayne, who lives in Florence, can attend to that and has done that in the past, by the way. They just simply asked for our openness to allow some sort of arrangement to be put into place. So I'm asking the board to consider whether or not we can handle their limited time frame. I would suggest that we initiate just a little memorandum of understanding or letter agreement that would provide for a formalization of that arrangement. Some amount of money needs to be remunerated for our employees' time in addressing that, although I don't know whether or not he would do that after hours or whatever.
That sounds a whole lot like permanent.
No, sir. I would probably suggest that we
No,
put
it's
a
not.
time
It's
frame
not
on it,
permanent.
Jay.
A time frame it, and I would limit the hours because I
Yeah.
know Dwayne's
Yeah.
steady on his side. I don't want him
So
to get
when
away
this
from our
popped
stuff.
up previously, and I'm going just by anecdotes, from what I understand previously, Dwayne actually would knock off here at the county at the appropriate time, and then on his own time, he would go down
Correct.
and help them with that.
I would just
that
say it doesn't need to exceed 5 to 10 hours a week
So we could
I
put,
think
we
he
could
does
put
he
some,
wanted on his own time.
on his
I
own
mean,
time. Yeah,
that's
I'm
what
not-
I'm
I'm
just-
not
that's what I'm
talking
just
about
saying.
Period of
No.
time.
yeah, so we would say this is gonna be in place for no more than 6 months,
It's not gonna be that
like
long.
that. They're gonna probably end up having to make a decision,
Right, yeah,
Hire somebody.
hiring a
probably. It
replacement.
doesn't look good. I won't tell you about it. Yeah,
So
with the
we
camera
just
on
wanted
there.
to ask for authority, it needs to be papered up because you've got issue of what's called borrowed servant. If Dwayne's working the Florence matter, he's on their comp plan. And
Be a
it would
letter-
be-
letters coming
We just
from
need to formalize it
board
so it's
to-
clear. If he's working for
request
them, he's on their nickel for workers'
Mike
compensation.
Ward's got credentials as an inspector.
Does he?
He does. You hear him not saying anything. Not even smiling right now, but he's probably more than
Word
most of
over,
those.
I got plenty to do, Daniel.
Yeah. So
I'm
can I
slow
get y'all
over
to,
there.
can I get y'all to add that to the agenda
I'll
and
make a
allow
motion
us
to
just
add.
to, just do a little letter
Second.
agreement with
All right,
Florence?
motion added to the agenda by Brad, second by Steve.
Where's
All in
more
favor?
certified than anybody in that department?
Make a
All in favor say aye.
Codes
All opposed, motion approved by Brad, second by Steve. All in favor say aye. All opposed.
Yeah, that's
Last
too much
thing
paper.
for-
Was I voting on
For me-
Word or who was I voting on?
Word.
Word, yeah.
That
That's
ain't enough
right.
money for him, man.
That's right.
As quick as Mike can do it, he needs to get y'all up to speed on some recent activities
Oh,
related to.
Lord.
No, Mike Word, no,
Do it Monday.
no, put
Monday.
Word on Monday, right out of the gate.
Yeah.
I
Right out
thought
the
we were
gate.
gonna be out of
Monday.
here at 10:30, look at it.
Hey,
I thought 10:30
Mike
was,
Word, you got 50 words.
All right, boys, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, when you leave, everybody's.
All right, spit it out.
All right, so working on a project with Mr. Calhoun
That's
on
it, right there.
trying to secure some funding through MEMA, through the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program for the shelters, tornado shelters. We had a couple of meetings with it. Mr. Slay and Mr. Calhoun was there. At any rate, we put the notices of intent into MEMA. Those were approved for 3 projects.
I thought I was there too.
You were there. You sure were.
See?
And Mr. Gaines was
Hey,
there.
you're going to get pissed off again. Yeah.
I have nothing to do with Evergreen Water Association, though, I can tell you that. So the notices of intent were put in for 3 projects, one 360 shelter, just like the one on Marquette North, one south, and then a additional project all grouped together with 5 smaller 50-person shelters. All of those notices of intent were approved. So that put us to step number 2, which was a pre-application process. In the pre-application process, all 3 projects again were approved. So now we are at the application process. And on those, we've still only received 2 out of the 3 thus far, the 2 big shelters, not the smaller 5 ones. So Brian is checking on that with MEMA today. There is a 25% match on that program. It's possible that we may end up down at 12.5%, possibly. So we'll just have to see how that shakes out. We have not been told any cap numbers, like this is all you can go after. I don't know. I was told to hit them hard, and we did. So we've got the buildings estimated at $4.2 million apiece, so a total project price of $8.4 million on the 2. Which would be somewhere in the neighborhood of about $2 million. So here we are right now. Before we proceed further on this application process, it is about 20 pages long per application. That's the one north and the one south. There's about 20 questions for each one, and they are arduous to fill out. They are a nightmare.
He goes and gets
So-
some words because Slay's here. You know,
Yeah.
He don't use his words when Slay's around here. I know.
He's getting close.
I'm just extemporaneously speaking, sir.
See?
So,
You see what I'm
so,
talking about?
I'm not here to cajole you.
Because Slay's here.
So at any, you heard that one in a while, hadn't you? So before we spend any further time on this, we just want to make sure that obviously we can't enter into any agreements on behalf of the board without your approval. And there's a couple of forms that Mr. Hicks is going to have to review and fill out, and obviously a bunch that Mr. Slade's going to have to put his eyes on as well before we can continue this application process. I mean, we've got to go in and there's so much. They want damage assessments from 20 years ago. How many tornadoes have been through? How many people this could possibly protect? It's a lot. So that's why there's so much money in this thing, because nobody wants to go through the work to put in for this grant. It's a nightmare.
Well,
It's
can we
tough.
get a commitment on the other half of the 25?
I've got a verbal from that. Whether we can get that in writing or not, I don't know.
That would be probably a big motivation, maybe to, instead of 25, 12.5%.
I'm out, boys. I'm a no, so y'all do where you wanna go.
Okay?
I'm good with those small ones though. You can get some of them, but, I can spend $2 million a lot better than that, I think. I don't even know where we get the $2 million from.
You got $1 million of it, don't you?
I don't know where we get the $2 million from.
That's what it is. We just didn't want to go spend
I don't
30 or
think
40
we'll
man
get
hours on these
$2 million.
application process if that's not where you guys want to go. So
Can we talk about it Monday? Now that we know that?
we can talk about it whenever y'all are ready.
I mean, just think about it over the weekend.
Yeah, I don't know where you get 2 million. I
There's
don't
two
even know
things
a
you're
million.
being asked to do right now as part of the application process. You can do it on Monday. You can agree to reconsider this on Monday. But the formal acknowledgement that we need now is that you're being asked to acknowledge that there is a federal match requirement or a local match requirement for the federal funding. And you're going to agree on the front end that you will comply with all of the requirements that relate to that facility. Just like we did with the Marquette facility.
Yeah.
We had to agree that it would be subject to federal requirements and limits on use.
And we haven't
Same-
really
same.
decided on how big these other 2 gotta be. I mean, we might be
I'm-
overshooting it too much.
I'm for whatever we need to do today. I just want to think about it and decide on Monday
Yeah.
what I'd like to do.
We're
The
not
2
gonna be able to-
million is if we had to go 25%.
The 2 million is the 25% match.
On both.
You're looking at $8.5
And we're
million.
hoping that'll be half.
Right. This is going to cost you $2 million to get $8 million worth of tornado shelter.
Yeah.
Basically, is what it's going to happen.
And one person's life is worth $8 million. Just go kill somebody and see what you get
Where
sued
you
for.
get it. Where you gonna get the money though?
Well, again,
I mean-
the application itself is not complete unless we submit those documents, so we're gonna need some authority from county administration to
And-
execute them at some point. You can do it on Monday.
So we can do
There's
that
gonna
Monday.
be some logistics as
We getting $1 million back from
Who-
back taxes.
Word
maintains
doesn't,
Yeah, but there's a whole lot of other places he can go.
Word doesn't work on the weekends anyway, does it? No, so I mean, that's what I'm talking about. He's gonna be busy inspecting down there in Florence anyhow.
It's Janice, we need to make sure that's somewhere on the agenda for Monday, if you can help us.
Not for Mike Word to speak, but just for us to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Discussion
leaving him out there, yeah.
of-
Storm shelter.
discussion
Yeah,
of
storm
FEMA
shelter.
shelters.
Jay
I
said he
wish
was
we
in
could
for
get
it. I think that's what
somebody
Jay
involved
said.
Yeah,
on
I
what
think
the
Jay said he
cost
yeah,
was
he
in.
said, I'm good
I mean-
before he left.
We anticipate.
I don't know,
what-
I don't know why Jay would be on board for the small ones, when the small ones, you take a pile of small ones to help in certain heavily condensed
He's just worried about, I
areas.
think he's thinking about the money.
Oh, well, I'm just saying,
I
in
mean, we all
match,
think
small
about
heavily
match.
populated areas, you, small ones aren't gonna do you
There's
good.
two things that Jay's thinking about. One's the big ass, the 25%.
Oh, well, maybe,
Second
okay.
is the staffing requirement for the big ones, the 360s, 361s.
Yeah,
There are staffing requirements. that
That's
y'all
right.
will be, you'll
Yeah.
have to comply with.
That's right.
you'll
Just
have
like
to,
our shelter.
Well, yeah,
two people,
You gotta man.
probably.
mm-hmm, yeah, the man,
But
You gotta manage.
There's gonna be
Yeah, well,
security costs
the
associated
vol-
with
can the
utilities.
volunteers? man,
Brian,
you have to have-
No,
Brian.
they good. Volunteers good.
Brian,
But you gotta have some
when we have a tornado event,
crazy.
Yeah, I would think so
Shut them down
too.
and get them out of there.
how full
But yeah, volunteers
is,
good.
Marquette.
Or you could put a reserve for free down
Yeah, that's what I think, yeah. Do what?
We had well over 200 this last time.
What's his capacity?
If everybody stood.
What did they call its capacity?
You could get over 1,000 in there, but it's staying, that's staying.
Yeah,
oh Lord.
I mean, you know,
Its design was for 350, if I recall correctly.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We always said we'd never turn anybody away.
the only thing with the small ones, well, this one, you can drive there and wait, and you're waiting it out, and you're comfortable, got a bathroom, whatever. The small ones, what are they gonna do? They're gonna drive there and there's no restroom or anything. You know, they're not gonna wait
I'm
hours
looking at
or an hour
also,
knowing the
we
storm's
got our
coming.
county guys out waiting for the storm to pass through.
He's talking about a
staging.
quick hitter spot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
this
put
is,
it in. Well,
to
I
me,
mean,
the
No,
storm.
small
when you
ones
put it out there
are
for
for
the-
first
for the people,
responders
though.
Be open for
and
the
your
public,
county
too.
people, that they can get there.
Well, y'all just
and-
think about it over the weekend, and we'll talk
Yeah.
about it Monday.
All right, well, let's,
Jay's in for it, I think.
yeah, we can actually get out of here
Did
before
Jay say he
noon.
was in?
Yeah,
That's what I thought he said.
yeah.
He said he was good on the little ones.
I did too.
All right.
All of them, I thought.
Yeah.
All right,
All right, now,
Thank you,
motion
Word.
to, what are we doing, adjourn?
adjourn.
Huh?
Make a motion to
Motion
adjourn.
adjourned by Brad, second by
Gaines.
Steve. All in favor, say aye. All
Aye.
opposed. We beat 12 o'clock.
Wow. No kidding.